Kanyewest, what song? This one? Okay. Hi guys. You know, I have to do a quick music interlude before I start, and I got my darling here with me today. I'm gonna be honest with you, so there might be a little bit of "Can you be quiet, please?" going on a little bit. Through the wire, through the limits, through it all. What it takes to be with you and have to lose it all. Through the wire, through the limit, come on me. I just drink the scissor. That right there contain a saying man bizarre. Telling her son's on life support. How my girl feel. But I ain't Jamaican man. And I ain't trying to make a band. History in the making, man. I mean, I'm telling you something, guys, right now. This documentary that I watched of Kanye, I mean, it's moved me to the extent to that, like, you gotta just keep on going. Whatever you guys are doing in your lives, you gotta keep on going. You gotta keep on, even if the people, your peers, who should really be lifting you up and wanting you to be on the same level as them, even if they're ignoring you, you gotta continue. On the hottest hot video. Anyway, guys, let me start. This is gonna be a real quick one. Like I said, it's a Saturday morning. I've got my second wash of laundry on. I've got cleaning to do. I've got my son here. I'm doing things. But I thought, you know what? Let me give you guys the Psychosexuals of episode 6 of Ready to Love, yeah? Because if I don't do it now, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then if I do it tomorrow, I'm going to edit it. It's going to be out Monday. I want to kind of get everything done today. Can I help you? Can I help you?
Hi.
But can I help you, though? Say hi, sexy slayers.
Hi, Sophie.
Anyway, guys, how are you doing? How are my sexy slayers doing? If you guys don't know what sexy stands for now, I can say sexy proudly in front of my son. Why? Because it's not in that objectified way. No, it's not. It's S that stands for successful. It's S that can stand for smart. It can stand for sharp. It can stand for succulent. Yeah, succulent. E is for excellent. E is for exquisite. X is where it's at for us. I keep on telling you guys, that's what makes you different from everybody else. Because you're excelling without no E. Yeah? That's what you guys are doing. And I'm talking to you. You guys, everywhere. Everywhere in the world. That's who I'm talking to. How are you guys doing? I feel this camera needs to be a little bit higher. So I'm going to make it a little bit higher. Yeah, I ain't got a tripod. I'm using a book. I'm actually using my studying books. Yeah, that's what I'm using. It is what it is, guys. Take it or leave it. Anywho. And how are you guys doing as slayers? You're slaying in your houses, you're slaying in your families, you're slaying in your work, you're slaying in your business, you're slaying in your schools, you're slaying in your college, you're slaying in your university, you're slaying in your conglomerates, you're slaying in your empires, you're also slaying in those vision boards that you've done from this early year, you're slaying in those dreams that you've had, you're slaying in that land that you want to penetrate with your gifts and talents. You're slaying everywhere, guys. How are you guys doing? Let me keep it short and sweet. I think it is the genius that is going to be infiltrating me doing the Psychosexuals to episode 6 of Ready to Love. Listen, I told you, when I watched his documentary, Jeen-yuhs, I think to be able to kind of have that notion to record himself throughout all his trials, tribulations, rejection, ignorings, I don't even know if that's a word, ignorances, maybe, I don't know, from his peers and them things there. Like, I feel like the whole of, where you going? Wee? Oh gosh, guys, I'm gonna have to go soon. Like I said, I'm on mother duties as well as doing the Psychosexuals for you, okay? So yeah, for him to do all of that, and then just be watching the series and then just be seeing all the gaps, like seeing him and in the hospital, seeing that in his first, well, through the wire, seeing all of those videos that he had put together, and it was all documented. I mean, that is genius. That is in itself genius. Whether he's got a mental health illness or not, he is a genius. And also the fact that nobody could tell him nothing but the fact that he knew he's a genius and he just needed everyone else to see that he's a genius, that shows that he's a genius. Does that make sense? He didn't take no for an answer within himself. He didn't let everybody saying no to him stop him from being that genius that he needed everyone else to recognize, because he already knew he was a genius. If anyone knows me very well, which there are quite a few people that have been very vocal, Kim Kardashians and the likes, me not care about none of them. I don't care that he got married to her. I don't care about anything that's going on right now with him and the people then that he's, I mean, you might expect him to, you know, do things a little bit differently, but he's dealing with it how he's dealing with it. Hopefully he's going to come to his, I don't know, come to a notion that, you know, maybe he could deal with it another way. But I understand his notion in regards to wanting to protect his children. Maybe not in the right way, but he's trying to do what he's trying to do. I'm not for him, I'm not against, but I'm definitely not for Kim. That's 1,000,000%. I've never been for those types of likes of people. Let me just be honest with you. Okay? But he's a genius, and that's just the long and short of it. I don't care what anybody says. And even if I was for Kanye, what are you not going to do about it? That's my opinion, even if I was. Nonsense. I also see it. He has a special mind. Why I'm saying that is my son has that type of special mind. He's on the spectrum of autism, and I can see that in Kanye, but I can see that he uses that to his benefit. Yeah, no one could not tell him that he's not a genius. No one could not tell him that. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes these things that people put on us, like having autism and things of that nature, people see it as a, you know, a negative. I don't see my son as having autism as a negative, because he is one of the most cleverest 6-year-old boys you'll ever meet in your lives. And if there's another 6-year-old boy that's as clever as him, it's probably because he's on the spectrum as well. Okay? So, yeah, I mean, that's my little 10 pence in regards to what's going on with Kanye. I don't really give my opinions on, you know, popular culture and them things there, because it's not my business. All I'm here to do is give you guys that Psychosexuals. So I'm just telling you my opinion in this one. Alright, anyway guys, let me just start. Ready to Love, episode 7. I've been saying episode 6. How can I be saying episode 6 when number 7 is my favourite number, and I should know it was episode 7. Sorry about that. Episode 7 of Ready to Love season 6. And it was for the men to meet the women's exes. And firstly, they had a bit of an intro, and it was learned that Dakia and Eric had a bit of like an altercation in regards to the fact they must have gone to some event, and Eric, well, admittedly touched. No, my friend, don't shout. Oh, this is a tune though. Welcome to the good life. I go for mine. I got to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky. I go for mine. I got to shine. Now throw your hands up in the sky. I'm gonna get on the TV, mama. I'ma put down. Hey. 50 told me to go ahead and sit the side up, and if they hating, let them hate and what the money pile up. The life I live when I'm gonna go crazy. Now my grandmama ain't the only one calling me baby. And if you feel me now, put you in the sky and let me hear you say. Anyway, time to continue, because okay, bye. Okay, let me continue, because yeah, so there was a notification. He touched her where he shouldn't have touched her while they were taking a picture. She was like, I'm sorry, I'm not that type of a woman. And he decided he's going to go home based on that, and realised he's not ready to love. I don't know if there's more to it. I don't know if he's starting to realise something about himself. I don't know. But he's decided to go home, which is fair enough. So he's gone home. Yeah, so Joy got Laverne and Clifton to meet. This is a tune. Oh. Anyway, when I get to the chorus, I'll sing, because I don't know any of this bit. Okay, so yeah. So Joy already knew that, like, you know, Clifton doesn't necessarily want to meet her ex. And Laverne came in all joyous, all jokey with the ex. And, you know, Clifton came in, he was quite surprised. He didn't feel like her ex could tell him anything apart from why he failed to keep her, basically. And then Clifton was asking how their relationship is now. Like, wagwan, well, what type of an ex are you? Are you there every day? Are you there on the phone call? La, 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 wait till I get my money right. La, la, then you can't tell me nothing, right? Excuse me? You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Yes, Kanye. Anyway, yeah, so I felt like Clifton was projecting quite a lot. I don't know what's happened in his past relationships with his past girlfriends, and how, I don't know, maybe they've become obsessive after they've broken up or what. But it sounded like he was quite defensive about their relationship, Joy and her ex's relationship, to the extent when the man even had to say, the ex had to say, it seems like you're bringing some jealousy vibes into this whole formula. I don't know what's going on here. And, you know, he was like, you know, what's happened in his past is the reason why he potentially can be that way. I'm not sure if he's talking about his conduct in his past with other women that caused his marriage to go downhill, or with another relationship that potentially the woman was quite, you know, wouldn't necessarily leave him be, because he made the comment that, you know, a shoulder to cry on couldn't end up being a penis to lie on. That's what he said. So it is what it is. And then in the end, Joy's ex had to explain that, listen, there's nothing going on, blood. There's nothing going on, you know. There's nothing going on. There's absolutely nothing going on. Just chillax. But yeah, it just sounded like he could be projecting. Not everybody's the same. The way he might have conducted himself in the past isn't necessarily how everyone else has conducted themselves. Nor are the people that, well, nor are his exes the same as the people that he's now dealing with, if that makes sense. I.e. Joy and her ex. So there was that. But then he was also open enough to say that, you know, he was part of the reason why his past relationships failed, and said that he's going to therapy, still in therapy. And, you know, me and therapy and people who go to therapy are like that. I love when people know that they need to do something for themselves to make themselves better, and they do it, and they don't feel no shame in actually saying it. And that's what he says he's been doing, so that's good. And then in the end, Joy's ex said that compared to Laverne, Clifton seemed more of Joy's type, because Laverne seemed a little bit too shallow. Didn't have much substance. So that was that. Done, dusted. Carmen had Paul and Donovan meet her very sexy silver fox of an ex. They were actually holding hands to go into the venue, which I thought was a bit weird, but okay, fair enough. The ex asked what the intentions of both Paul and Donovan was when it comes to Carmen. Donovan said that he would want her to kind of just see her grow together, or see her grow and then grow together, I guess. And then Paul was more a lot deeper, saying that he'd want to kind of see where the relationship goes, make her his girlfriend, make her his fiance, the very heteronormative way of doing things, and then maybe see her as a wife. That was basically his answer. However, you know, the ex did have some advice for them, saying that, you know, Carmen deals with a lot of accomplished people, athletes and things of that nature, so they have to be quite strong-willed to be with such a person. And, you know, Donovan was like, that's not a problem for me. Paul was like, it's all good and hood, it's not a problem. And I'm guessing that might have been a problem for the Silver Fox, and that's why they broke up. I don't know, and it could potentially be, who knows. But the ex chose chose Donovan to be more of his Carmen's type. He felt that Paul was soft. But I was wondering what he was basing that on, because I have noticed that Paul can be quite assertive. So I don't know, maybe his assertiveness wasn't matching his. I don't know. That's number one. And number two, she said she wants some Marvin Gaye, some Luther Vandross, a little Anita. We'll definitely set this party afire. You know what I mean? Well, she said she wasn't ready for the world, some new edition to lift to 10. We'll definitely set this party afire. Yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. I told her to come over to her new crib, tool with. And I want you to. Don't know about that. Calling me. Why she always telling me that? When she knows she's got a dark-skinned friend look like Michael Jackson, got a light-skinned friend look like Michael Jackson. She was ready for some action, my dog. So you gotta prove my man wrong. Very sexualized, as per usual. I'm not even gonna go into that today. I said I'm gonna be really quick today. So yeah, so there was that. Ace got Laverne and Tori to meet. I mean, her ex was very, you know, eccentric looking. As she had already told the other guys that, you know, she's had different types in her life, and he looked very artsy, very cosmopolitan. Anyway, the ex asked Laverne if he's jealous. She's like, jealous for who? Jealous of what? Listen, even if Obama and Jay-Z was around, I could stand my own. Me not jealous of nobody, is basically what he said. He kind of let known that, you know, Ace had been the alpha in the relationship. I really hate these labels and these dynamics that people put in relationships. I really can't stand them, but that's what he said. And he turned to Tori and asked, could he be like an alpha, because it looks like Laverne could be. And he was, I want to shake your hand, Tori, for saying this one. And he was like, my objective is not to dominate my partner in a relationship. It's not. It's about being receptive and respectful and reciprocating that same respect back. And I love that answer, because all this nonsense alpha tingling, it really annoys me. But that's another story. Ace's ex said that she felt that Tori could be someone that she could be with if she wanted to lead, or Laverne could be someone she could be with if she wanted to be led. Anywho, in a relationship you need differentiation. That differentiation doesn't have things to do with, you know, who's the head of each other and then things there. It's about collaborating, negotiating, communicating, and also compromising. And that compromise, well, I guess that compromise would come with being an alpha person, and if you decide that's what you want to be, and that's what you want to be, and the person agrees to that. Hello. So yeah, there's that. And then Sabrina took out Demetrius and Tori and Donovan. Demetrius and the ex looked very much alike. Tori, in the confession, said that he ain't got time for this long thing, because it seems like Sabrina's got so many links, right? Because I can see in him a little bit that he could, I don't want to say what type of attachment style he is, but I can see that some of the things that he might do or say, because he's making really snide comments in front of the ex, and it just seemed, for me, it just sounded like he was protecting himself by pushing her away a little bit. And I kind of wanted to talk about how I see potentially, you know, based on what Tori has said, I'm not necessarily saying this is him, I'm not necessarily saying this is his you know, his attachment style. Like, basically different types of attachment styles that you could be is, you could be secure, you could be anxious, preoccupied, you could be dismissive, avoidant, or you could be fearful, avoidant. And if you're secure, that just means that you're confident, you're reciprocal, you're non-reactive, and you're resilient. And that's usually someone that sees themselves more in first position, someone that can actually talk from their point of view and not necessarily be affected by what someone else feels about them. They still have their point of view, which can be a good thing. Having a secured attachment, you have a positive view of yourself, a positive view of others. You're quite interdependent, which basically means you can either be dependent on others or not be dependent on others, and be independent. It works both ways, and there is no angst within you with any of those types of dynamics. You're secure, you trust people, you're comfortable with closeness, and you have healthy relationship bonds. And these are people with more of a secured attachment are people who usually had parents who kind of were always there for them in the times that they needed to be there for them, basically. Anxious, preoccupied it tends to be when you haven't had that nurturing that you possibly should have had when you were younger, and that makes you emotionally more hungry, so you kind of latch onto people a lot more. You can be very possessive in a relationship. You can want things your way because you haven't had it your way. It's to no blame of yourself as well, as long as the person who you're with understands that, if that makes sense. I'm just saying it really short and sweet, because I've got a son here, I gotta go. When you're also with having like an anxious attachment style, you can possibly be have a negative point of view of yourself, fear of losing relationships as well. What else is there? Let me think. I can't remember. You can actually tend to be quite clingy. And that's only because you're anxious of losing that attachment. Let me just put it that way. When your attachment style is dismissive, avoidant is when you can be quite emotionally distant when you are in that type of, or if you have that type of attachment style. You can be quite ambivalent. You can also be just a bit nonchalant about stuff. And again, that's to do with protecting your emotions. With being fearful, with having more of a fearful, avoidant type of an attachment style, it can make you, I wouldn't say dramatic, that's the wrong word to use, but you know, you might overreact to things only because of the way you've been treated to have that attachment style. All of these attachment styles, I'll never base it on whether it's a negative or positive thing for you. It's not necessarily based on you, it's based on how you have been brought up. So with the fearful avoidant type of a style, it's more to do with like having internal conflicts as to, you know, how people see you, how people treat you, why people treat you like this, and sometimes even taking it personally, even though they don't even mean it in a personal way. It could be so many things, and you might have that mentality that, oh, the person's definitely going to let you down. You know the person's going to let you know. They know the person that you're going to be with. So you can potentially bring up issues in the relationship that aren't there. And again, like I said, it's nothing to do with you. It's usually how you were brought up by your childhood. Trauma via childhood, lessons via childhood treatment, basically. Who's that?
Kanyewest.
Yeah, Kanyewest. Anxious attachment tends to have a positive view of others, a negative view of yourself. Fearful attachment usually has a negative view of self, of you might have a negative view of yourself, but like, and also will have a negative view of others as well. You could potentially be scared to make connections only because you're scared of losing them. Also, you could just not see yourself as how great you are. You could be a little bit self-detrimental, self-deprecating, and things of that nature. Avoidant attachment shows itself up, possibly a positive self point of view, maybe a negative point of view of others. Positively quite, not positive, positively, I can't even talk, possibly quite independent, might put up walls, might leave a relationship if they just don't feel like they are valued or they need that person and things of that nature. So there's different types of attachment styles, but what I will say to you is that all attachment styles are not definite. That because you might have been a certain attachment style growing up, that doesn't mean you can't change. That doesn't mean things can't change for you. That doesn't mean you can't start to see yourself in different ways, and that usually comes through therapy anyway. So there's that. So I just thought I'd just add in a little bit of Psychosexuals with the attachment styles. It started from Bowlby in the 1960s. He done in heard us say nothing ever promised tomorrow today. Who's that?
Kanyewest.
Yeah. Go today. Can I at least get a raise in the minimum wage? Oh, Kanye, man. Kanye was Kanye these times. Oh, let me just get to the chorus.
What's that?
That's... Ooh. Nothing's ever promised tomorrow today. Nothing lasts forever, so live on this way. It hurts so much. The only way. Okay, anyway, let me continue. Yeah, so that's basically today's lesson, guys. It was about attachment styles. Like I said, attachment styles aren't definitive of who you are. They can change. You can actually work on yourself if you feel that any of these types of traits are within you, and them things there. You're welcome, guys. Okay, let me continue. So yeah, it was basically because of Tory that I started talking about it, because he did mention that he is the type of person that can hold all his feelings in. You're never going to know how he's feeling, whether it's good, bad, sad, happy, whatever. He's able to hold those feelings in. And again, that's a part and parcel of knowing that your feelings aren't necessarily ever, or having the experience potentially that your feelings are never ever taken into account. And so therefore you just have a way of dealing with things, and that could be his defensive way of dealing with things, just to be happy, just to pretend kind of like thing. Based on the attachment styles I've said, write in the comments what type of attachment style you might be. For somebody to kind of be in front of an ex and making snide comments, because you're saying stuff like, oh, you know, oh, she's been nice to me today, kind of like thing, as if to say, oh, she's not usually nice to him, if that makes sense. So then type of things there. Donovan came in and asked what Sabrina needs as a woman. Sabrina, I'm not gonna lie, her eyes lit up when he came in. Like, the ex asked if now Tory or Donovan would choose her, and Tory was like, maybe not, because there's a few things we need to go through or deal with. And then Donovan was like, actually, yeah. And that was the first time he actually said it out loud, that actually realised that actually, yeah, he would potentially take her now, because he's got the strongest connection with her. So there was that. And sure enough, the ex even said, you know what? You love him. You are feeling him. And even he also said that she would be happiest with him as well. Flashing lies. She don't believe in shooting stars, but she believes in shooting cars. I'm more of the... Oh, I've got the words all different. I'm more of the trips to Florida. Kanye, the paparazzi. As I recall, I know you love to show off, but I never thought that you would take it this far. But what do I know? Flashing lights. What do I know? Oh, I know it's been a while, sweetheart. We've hardly talked. I was doing my thing. I know it's been a while. Hey, you were on my brain. I'm up for go. Hey, Kanye, man, you've done something. Kanye, man. I know. Flashing. Oh. Why does it finish like that? Alright, anyway, good. He's trying to tell me to hurry up. Okay. So, Tina took out Paul and Demetrius. Paul thought that Tina's ex was very, very young. Paul didn't really know that Demetrius was coming, and he was like, what the heck is this? He didn't realise that she even had a connection. Yeah, I wasn't really happy with the way the ex really was spilling the beans about Tina and about how she mashed up his phone and hit some wall and them things there. And he said all of that without actually saying why that actually happened. I'm not necessarily saying that it was a good reason as to why that happened, but it was actually because he was cheating and being hidden in different shower rooms and them things there and trying to hide his infidelity. And I don't want to kind of like validate what she did, but it seems like she got a bit vexed with him and done what she did, kind of like me no no. So yeah, the way he said it is like that's her attitude, but you know, sometimes people react in certain ways because of the way you kind of push them. They might not necessarily Kanyewest. Is it? JC. Okay. Gosh. And that's another thing about my son. That's what I'm saying. His mind is like a sponge. Anything he hears, anything he sees, he remembers it. No, Jay-Z's not. Kanye's not this. Oh yeah, no. I think Jay-Z. Yeah, he produced this. And I hate this song. No offense. Let me change it. Let me changing. Okay. I'm coming, guys, because I need to save my battery. Yeah. So basically, yeah, I didn't really like the way he was going on, spilling all the beans, especially when he hadn't actually said what he had done first, but it is what it is. Also, he was saying how she holds on to stuff. She can hold a grudge. She can sometimes kind of like ignore you for months and sometimes years on end. Why you had to tell them that, I don't know. Kind of gave the guys a bit of a red flag alert, potentially, because Demetrius was like, nah, him not deal with them things there like that. He likes to communicate. If there's a problem, he likes to talk about them things there. He doesn't want the person to go quiet on him and stuff like that. So there was that. Oh yeah, so Clifton met Dakia's ex, and there was no handshake. Clifton was very quite standoffish, I thought. And then he decided that he was going to test Dakia and the relationship that she still has with her ex and start being quite affectionate and flirty with her to see if she would reciprocate. And his notion is if she does reciprocate, that means, yeah, she's into him and she doesn't still hold anything for the ex. And true enough, she was all touching and feeling up on him as well. So I guess she's well over her ex, basically. But that in itself kind of shows the type of mentality that Clifton has, that he still kind of has this type of leftover stuff that he's dealing with from his past. And I don't know if it's his behavior that he's kind of wary of for the future or other people's behaviors, if that makes sense. So we'll see. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that not Dakia, Tina's ex said that Paul would be a better fit for her, so let's see. So then after that, it was women's deliberations as to who should go home. Everyone saying who they preferred and them things there. And Sabrina dropped the bonus, I guess, I don't know, that she actually found out that Tori had kissed Precious. And so after him was saying that, oh, you got too many connections and them things there, he's actually being affectionate with other people. And she was like, she not get them things there, she not understand that. But it is what it is. So it was Laverne or Tori to go home. Laverne went to speak to Sabrina. Tori went to speak to Dakia. In the confessionals, like, Laverne was saying that, oh, he's heard that Sabrina, Carmen, and Tina have been plotting to kind of get him out of the competition. He was very standoffish. He wouldn't even hug her when he first met her. He gave her a touch. He'd gone in there and be like, oh, I know what you're come to tell me anyway. Let me just let you know that I know what you lot were going to plan to do. So let me just say that. Let me just save it for you. Let me just say it for you. Listen, okay, fine, I'm not ready to love. Is that what you basically come and tell me? And she's like, slow down, slow down. And she was like, oh, is that the kind of levels we're on? I thought we had a better kind of connection than that. And she got vexed and said, nah, you're disrespecting me. The tone that you came in with, the over-talking that you came in with, and the accusations that you came in with was just not right. The fact that you feel that you're that important that we want to conspire against you is absolutely nonsense. The reason why she didn't want him is because there was no romanticness around. Romanticism, no romance in their kind of communication. That's basically why she didn't want him. Anyway, the long and short of it is that he went home. But what I wanted to say is that when Dakia was kind of breaking it down to Tori as to like him potentially going home, not yet knowing whether he was going home or not, I could just see in his face like just the feeling of like fear of rejection. And it could just be me, I don't know, but I just could see that in him. I just kind of see like he feels vulnerable, and I feel like his vulnerability comes in the need to kind of be needed and wanted, and that's why he's basically in the competition. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And like I said, I feel like I'm just basing it on what he's told us on how his upbringing was. But I could just see it in his eyes, like, please don't tell me you're rejecting me, please. I felt so bad for him. But luckily, they weren't anyway, so that's good. But yes, Sabrina wasn't having none of it with Laverne. She walked out, and then Laverne was like, hey, it is what it is. It looks like it's just going to be me and my dog for the future, because this was his last kind of attempt to try and find love, and it hasn't worked. So he's just going to resort to being with his dog as a partner, I guess. Well, not partner like that, but do you know what I mean? Anyway, guys, I'm done. You know where to find me, Sex and Slay with As I Might anyway. TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebooks, YouTubes, Twitter. I think I've said it all. I don't know what song I should leave you guys with. I'm trying to find one of Kanye's. I feel like I've played all the ones that I really love, and I'm sure there's one that I probably can't remember that I love, but I can't. Throw your diamonds in the sky if you feel the vibe. I didn't necessarily like this song because I don't like the diamonds thing. Forever, ever, forever, ever, 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 ever. Okay, maybe I'll leave you with that, guys. All right, love you and leave you guys. See you in the next episode. Take care. Stay blessed. Bye.